All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another series on the Winning Strategy series for 2025. Let me first really apologize for commencing the session a little later than we scheduled it to have started. And also, thank you for joining the session. Thank you for also waiting. If you've been waiting since 8 p.m. Nigerian time, thank you for waiting for the session. If you've been following this series, you would know that we've been talking about a lot of things across different areas of life that can help you become better at what you do. We've talked about personal development and growth. We've talked about how you can win in business. We've talked about how you can win with emotional intelligence. We've also talked about how you can win as a career mom. And today, we're talking about how you can win in your career. I believe that this is a very important conversation, especially for career people, and how you can make sure that in this year, 2025, you are able to do a lot more than you have ever done in your career. And of course, as always, we have an amazing guest who is joining us today, Mrs. Victoria Ibhawa. I'm going to tell you very quickly about her. Mrs. Victoria Ibhawa is not an ordinary career woman. She's not. She's a woman with record. She's a woman with record. These records are, I mean, when you see it, you understand what I mean. Let me tell you a bit of it. So first off, Mrs. Victoria had worked in all your dream companies. Let me put it that way. She had worked in the big fours. Two out of the big fours. It's not an easy feat. She had also worked in one of the biggest FMCG, and she's currently in an oil and gas industry. Your dream job. You know what I mean? So we are we are having somebody who has experience, and I dare to say that in all of those places I had mentioned, she had been one of the top HR people there, not just in position but also in performance. And she's not just an experienced HR consultant and practitioner. She's also an author of one of the best selling career books you can meet or see out there. Yes, I dare say, because I have read that book and I can tell you for free that that book is very enriching for every career person. I'm going to put it in the description so that you can know how to get your copy, because you really need to get your copy if you want to be very serious about your career this year. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome our guest for today, Mrs. Victoria Ibhawa. I will clap for everybody. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Ma.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And thanks for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. I've listened to the past episodes. I see it's an amazing work that you're
Thank
doing. And I
thank
look forward to sharing insights from my experience during
you.
this particular episode. So let's keep it going. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much. I'm already excited about the ride we're about to go into, because I have sat under Mrs. Victoria a lot of times, and I can tell you that you're not going, if you don't have your notebook, you have some minutes to click and get your notebook, because you would need it definitely. And of course, I also need to point out that in this series, our goal for this series is to give you practical tips that you can use almost immediately. I want that at the end of the year, you are able to look back at each area of your life and you can say, I have a better result than I've ever had in the past. So, thank you so much once again, Mrs. Victoria. We're going to go very quickly into the session. And the first thing I'm going to do, so this is, I'm going to explain it this way. My questions will be coming in segments. First, I would like us to talk about some of the issues around career for people, and then we can then go into um, how they can do a lot better, what's new things that they can inculcate into their career to be able to get better results. So my first question would be that what are the common career mistakes that you think people are always making, and how should they avoid them?
Okay, so again, thank you very much for having me on this show. And so
Thank
if I look at career mistakes, I would try maybe not, let me just talk generally about career mistakes. One of the
you. Okay.
things that people always forget is that well, whatever it is that has brought you to the level you are is not enough to sustain you for the next level. And so, one
Mm,
area of mistake that many professionals make is the word coasting. You know, when you feel, oh, I've done this, I've done that, I've gotten my dream job, and you sort of coast, especially when
mm,
you're in an environment where nobody is pushing you to do more. So, let me take an
mm,
example of accountants, for example. So you have professional chartered accountants who, once they are chartered in terms of having their ACCA or their ICANN, for them it just
Mm,
looks like this is the peak, that I can be. But there's so much more out there. There's
mm,
so much more out there because the world is constantly evolving. And so one career
absolutely.
mistake is to just settle in a particular space and feel that, oh, I've gotten to the peak, I've gotten all the certifications, and not begin to think about what else could happen. Whether
Mm,
in my space, I can be an HR, professional, but I want to look at continuous improvement within my industry such that I can play in different areas if I
mm,
decide to stay in that industry. So that's one mistake. Rather than just, it's going to focus, but also be somebody that can be versatile. Be somebody that
yeah.
can be versatile, so that when opportunities come knocking, you are better suited. You might not be the best, you might not be 100% ready, but as an element of preparation that you have that will make you the preferred person. The other thing that we have seen in such cases is that career dynamics are changing. So the focus of a party. So, for example, if I take HR, there's a lot of we are moving into the space of talent management now more than ever before. So that confusion between HRM, talent management, they're not exactly the same thing. So the bit
Mm,
around talent management, the bit around organizational development, design and development. If you
mm,
are somebody who wants to, play in the field of HR of tomorrow, these are areas you also want to begin to develop capacity in. You understand? So rather than,
yeah.
don't settle and say, I've achieved this. This is the peak of my career now, and then you settle. That's one mistake that
Okay.
people make. If I want to look at, that question on a regular day-to-day basis, another mistake I feel. So this is not something that will typically come up when people talk about mistakes, but I see it as a mistake. Focusing on the things that are not working and letting that frame your career. So for example, if I tell you how the career season, next career season, you refer to the book that I wrote. My book is
Mm,
Maximizing Your Career Seasons. So we all have different seasons. We go through
yes.
different seasons depending on our age, depending on opportunities that come our way. But whether one season didn't work well, it should not define your outlook for the other season, because
Mm,
you can reinvent your career. So the mistake many career professionals make is that when something hasn't gone well, they use that as the lens to see how far they can go in their career rather
mm,
than reinvent. I've seen people move, from being a pure science person into being somebody in finance. I
yeah.
studied geography and regional planning. I always wanted to be a lecturer, which, by the way, I will still be later, maybe during
Okay.
retirement. But
Interesting.
when that didn't come my way, I had to reinvent. In fact, I started out in the audit field, wrote my foundation, ICANN, did ICANN, foundation and intermediate. I could have just said, oh, I want to continue in this country, but it wasn't an area of interest. I needed to reinvent myself. And how did I do that? Whilst immediately I started looking for opportunity to move, started a CIPM. You understand? So rather than say,
Yes.
oh, this is not working, I'm not happy, I'm just pushing it, they're not favoring me, how can I
Mm,
reinvent myself? How can I start again? And it doesn't matter how far you've gone, it doesn't matter how bad you have failed. Your
mm,
career, like they say, is in your hands. Again, it's not only in your hands. We'll get there if we have questions that are related. Your career is both in your hands and in the hands of other people. But I believe there'll be
mm,
opportunities to take that. Just a few of the errors. The thing about not focusing on what is not working well rather than what is working. What are the things that you have that are working well
mm,
for you? Pick any typical professional. Pick any typical professional today and ask them to talk about, just give them an opportunity to either talk about the positive and the negatives.
mhm,
The chances that they will have more to say on the negative things is higher.
yeah.
It would take a lot of effort to really begin to think about what is positive, especially
Mm,
when they have stayed a while in that environment. So if you are new, maybe you got a better pay and you got an increase, you got a higher level of role, you might focus on the positives. But if you stayed a while, there's chances are that you would have settled into the complaints of others, and then you begin to look at the things that are not working, forgetting that what you focus on expands. You are what you focus on. If you focus
Yes.
on the positive begin to reflect because it will show in your work. When you have a mind of
Mm.
gratitude, you bring it to work. And because you bring it to work, your output will be better. And when your output is better, you get progress. You get better
Yes.
opportunities. So these things have a way of revolving around, our work. Maybe a last thing I want to put here, like I said, there are lots of things. The other thing, mistakes people make in their careers, is that they don't see themselves as a salesperson. You just
Okay.
think that, oh, yeah, many people don't see themselves as marketers. As a career person, you are in sales. You are in
Okay.
sales. Whether you are HR, whether you are IT, you are selling your markets. Every minute you are selling. As you're speaking at
Mm.
work, you're selling. As you go to when you dress to work, you are selling. You're not just doing a job. You are selling you.
Selling
You are
yourself.
selling
Yeah.
you. So we are empowered. And how do you sell? You think about what do I want to achieve? What's my target? What's my goal? Where do I want to get to in
Mm.
my career? The other thing is, do I have what it takes? Okay, what's my target? I want to hit $1 billion in sales. Do I have what it
Mm.
takes? Do I have the capacity? Then beyond what it takes, the thing I think I have to meet that my goal, the people that will give it, my customers that will buy my market, do they need it? Maybe I should
Yes.
stop that answer there. You understand? So that you can take others. So
You're
complete
already
sales.
spitting fire.
Many professionals are not thinking sales. They're not thinking that they are selling themselves. And that's a big career mistake
Mm.
that many people are making.
Thank you so much, ma. Honestly, should I still ask another question? Because at this point, you've touched on so many things with just one question. I'm just going to add to what you've said, especially the last part where you talked about all career people are salespeople. So I have a friend who would always say, no matter how good a product is, if you put that product in a box and put the product
Mm.
in the shelf where no one would see it, nobody would ever patronize that product, no matter how good it is.
Yeah,
And then when you put a less inferior, I mean, when you put an inferior product that is not as good as the one in the box, in the display section, people would rather go for that because that is what they see.
yeah.
So
They
that's me
see.
just buttressing what you have said because it's really important that when you do what you do, put it out
Mm.
there even in your organization. We're not saying play the politics of eye service and all, but when you do what you do, put it out there because it is the record of what
Mm.
you've done that will make them trust you for the things you've not even done and can do. Thank you so much, ma. I'm going to bring my next question from that first question. Now you talked about reinventing oneself, you talked about um, not not settling for where you are because you think you have done enough.
Yeah.
Now let's assume that somebody understands this and the person is not settling, the person is doing a lot more, the person is going all out in terms of trying to acquire all they need to acquire in their field, but they don't have opportunities as much as they would want to have. How would you what are the practical steps you would advise that such people should implement to be able to position themselves for opportunities?
Okay, so I will use a model for you, and that model is the car model. So I'll use that car model to just explain. I use the car model for a number of things. So let me use this for positioning yourself for opportunities. And so I will
Okay.
take that question from two angles, both so the opportunity of maybe you're looking for a job, you haven't gotten the kind of job you want, but it can also be an
Yes.
opportunity within where you are. So you might just
Mm.
be looking for the next level. So you already have a great job, you're working in a great environment, but you are looking for the next level. You want to progress. How do you position yourself for those kind of opportunities? And I'll use the car model. The car model is
Okay.
from the word car. Three things. Car, and I will try and be fast about it. Car stands for
Okay.
the C there stands for capacity or capability. Either
Mm.
the capacity or capability. Many times people use these words interchangeably, but they're not, the same thing. So I'll use an example to explain. Capacity is like saying the resource available to do something. So
Mm.
you have capacity, you have the resource. So for example, now a job is being advertised and they say the minimum requirement is HND or BSc. That's the
Mm.
capacity. We have access to this job. You understand? And what you need to perform that job is the minimum of a BSc. The capacity required is for somebody who has a BSc. But capability now is the is the application of that capacity effectively.
Mm.
You understand? Is the active as the application of that capacity in an effective manner to meet the goals for that role. So let's take an example now. Two examples that I want to give. One is that one of the graduates. You're saying
Okay.
capacity now. What's the capacity? The opportunities that you're looking for. There are certain requirements for those opportunities. So if you're not getting them, there are a number of things that can be causing it. Either, like you said, you are not out there, people are not seeing you,
Yes.
people don't know what you have, or even when they know what you have, you don't have the thing that they're looking for. And what are they looking for? What capacity? You look through job descriptions, there's a certain kind of role you are looking for, there's certain kind of opportunities, and they're always posting it, but you're never shortlisted. So beyond even knowing how to go about applying for roles, because that's not the essence of this question, because a lot of ways that when you want to apply for a role, there's a way you use some keywords, into your profile, because nobody goes, at least most people don't do paper recruitment anymore. Everything is
Yes.
system based. And so for the
Mm.
system to be able to select you for that opportunity, there are certain algorithms behind that the system works with.
Yes.
So you need to be intentional to ensure that your profile meets those algorithms. But again,
Mm.
that's not the focus of this session. So let's look at capacity again. The graduates. The
Okay.
graduates now, you have graduates, you're a graduate, you're a chartered accountant. But how do you now use this in terms of the capability? Your application of your timeliness, your application of emotional intelligence, you're managing, your workload, managing upwards, maximizing relationships that you have, all those things, delivering the way you deliver your work, the how that you go about it, those things make up the capabilities.
Mm.
And like you said, there's capacity, but we are not seeing it. What do we see? Is how you put that capacity to use. So
Mm.
let me use capacity now as a cup. So I have a cup right in front of me. I have this cup
Okay.
here, this cup that you can see. Let's take, I'm not exactly sure the size, but let's just assume it is a liter, cup. And then I have different materials. I have different cup materials of 1 liter, 1 liter, 1 liter. One is a plastic cup like this, another is a paper cup, another is a glass cup.
Mm.
So they have the same capacity in terms of volume, right? But in
Yes.
terms of what they can hold effectively, it is not the same. Their
True.
capability, one will hold oil comfortably. The paper one
Mm.
might not be able to hold the oil. It will seep through because the person has
Yes.
not developed the capability. So
Mm.
yes, you are a graduate. All of us are graduates. We are coming, but there's a distinguishing factor in the other person.
Mm.
Sometimes that might be what is keeping you from those opportunities. The how.
True.
So you have done in the current opportunity that you have.
Mm.
So you are looking for other opportunities, but do you have a track record of implementing the things that you have been given? And for those of you who have track record, who knows about your track record? Again, going back
Mm.
to what my host talked about, being visible, who knows about it? You're not anywhere. You're looking for opportunities. You're not on LinkedIn. I go to speak in some
Mm.
places and I ask people how many of you on LinkedIn, you see, oh, they're not there. And when they are there, they have not even done anything. You cannot post. You cannot respond to people's posts. You cannot repost people's comments. You cannot go and research
Mm.
intelligently and say a word that people will remember you for.
Mm.
Identify the people who are living the life you want to live career-wise. Tag
Mm.
along them, reach out to them, follow them, comment on their
Mm.
posts. You
Mm.
understand? Show them what you've got.
Yes.
Volunteer. Volunteer to work with them. Look at associations that are in your discipline
Mm.
and make an effort to volunteer or be a part of it. Have a record of your
Mm.
achievements. And one of the ways, and another thing about achievements is you need to blow your trumpet. Nobody is going to blow it.
Yes.
When a lizard comes from a very tall height and falls down, you won't notice, but the lizard will be nodding. Yes, I have done well.
Mm.
That's what you should do. And one of the ways you do that is by having something that they call your brag sheet. You have your brag
Yes.
sheet. You have been given this task to do, you document it. See,
Mm.
nobody is going to remember your positives as much as you will. Again, I'm talking
Mm.
achievements. So you can do so much, and you feel that I'm better than these people that have been progressed. You are better, but nobody remembers that you are better. When there's
Mm.
opportunity for you to speak up in meetings, you don't speak up. All you know, you are buried in your work, you are doing excellent work, but nobody sees your work.
Mm.
So achievement is not only achievement if it is not known.
True.
So one of the ways you can do it, people that you report to, so that it doesn't look like you are bragging, set up connect sessions, your one-on-one check-in sessions. Oh, I'd like to discuss this with you. You understand? Oh, I've done A,
Yes.
B, C, D. And you put it in an email and say, I'd like to get your feedback. What you have done. Let me tell you three things that you have done. One, you have stylishly recorded the work that you have done. Do you understand?
Mm.
Number two,
True.
you have also given that person a sense of pride that you want the person's input. So the person feels,
Yes.
that leader feels you are relying on me. The third
Mm.
thing you are doing is that you're already stylishly getting an ally, somebody who will
Yes.
remember to speak up for you. Achievement, what are the things that you have done? Look around you. What are the
Mm.
areas that you, what are the areas of quick wins that if there's
Mm.
an opportunity in the future, they will say it was Victoria who did this, who saved us
Mm.
this number, these thousands of dollars. And because
Mm.
of that, oh, this is the time to recommend. Listen, you can save a lot of dollars and nobody will remember.
Mm.
If I want to go to the scripture, there was a wise man in the scripture that saved the city. Nobody remembered him. The third
Mm.
thing I'm going to tell you is why nobody remembered him. We always look at that verse and we say because he was a poor man. He was not only poor in terms of money, he was poor in the last letter, and that is relationship. If
Yes.
he had saved a city, how do you save a city and nobody will remember you? How do you save a city? Again, I'm a person of faith. Let me use another person in the scriptures to explain. Let's look
Okay.
at Esther. Why did Esther
Mm.
become queen that we all talk about? Why? We're going to go look at both Esther and Vashti that was displaced. Oh, let's look at Esther. Why?
Yeah.
Relationship. She had an uncle who projected her. She got
Yes.
into the house. She had the person who was managing the maidens and the person who said, oh, and she found favor in the sight of that person. It was relationship.
Yes.
But guess what? Why do you think a woman who had been queen for years, she had been queen for years, and guess what? All of a sudden, when she misbehaved, just one single, the king is calling you to showcase your beauty, she
Mm.
refused to come. What if she was having a menstrual cramps at that time? What if she
Mm.
had a baby who was crying and she needed to attend to, but she didn't have the time? What if she was even doing the palace work?
Mm.
Scripture doesn't record what she was doing.
Yes.
What in all that? And guess what? Do you know the people who stood against? It wasn't even the king. The king was upset, by the way, but he sought counsel and said, what should be done? The same
Mm.
people that would come to the palace to eat, the same people this woman was serving, were the ones that told the
Yeah.
king that, oh, no, 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 get another queen. She's going to be a bad example to other women in
Mm.
the presence of their husbands. Relationships, not one person will speak on her behalf. The
Mm.
power of relationship. So yes, the capability, your capacity, the foundation, you layer it with your achievements because you can have a latent capacity. It has to
Mm.
show your achievement, the things you have done. I turned this around, I was able to do this, I picked this up and I closed it out. But up and above that, the icing on the cake is the relationship. So those are the,
Mm.
if you put these three things together, chances are that you are better positioned for opportunities, both opportunities between in your place of work, opportunities outside your place of
Outside.
work. So today, I just finished a session like I spoke to you. And
Yeah.
the reason why I had that session, he's a very popular, everybody knows him, he's quiet. He did not reach out to me. Oh, I reached out to him. So I'm going to talk tomorrow now. I'm going to speak somewhere. I reached out to him. But why did I reach out
Mm.
to him? I had a relationship with him before. He has a
Yeah.
lot on his plate. But I also wanted that platform to be able to speak to that kind of
Mm.
academy. And I sent him an email saying, oh, I would like to. And he said, oh, I know your pedigree because of
Mm.
relationship. So I've
Yes.
seen your pedigree. But guess what? I was able to tap into that relationship. Many people have relationships. They are just looking at it from afar. I have made mistakes. I
Yeah.
have made mistakes. Read my book, Maximizing Your Career Seasons. And Magdalene, I
Mm.
think we should have one of your audience. Let's give out two books to two. Let's see the
Oh
people that maybe
wow!
want to give.
Thank
Maybe those that are
you.
going to be. Maybe those that are going to respond. I don't know.
Yes.
Minimum
Mm.
of two. We start with two and
Okay.
see how many we can give out and see how we can dispatch those books. One of the things I shared there are mistakes I made in my relationships. So you have relationships, tap into them, manage all them, so that when the
mm,
time comes in rooms where you are not opportune to be there, those people
mm,
will speak for you. They will make those opportunities happen for you, and you'll be
mm,
amazed. So again, your capacity to take on those opportunities, your achievements, and documenting those achievements, having opportunity to speak to them. Even in
mm,
meetings, when you have opportunity to speak, find a way to stylishly. When I was on this project, that is how people get
mm,
on in the place of
mm,
work. Oh, when we did this project, I was able to do this in a way that doesn't look like you are bragging, but you are bringing it to the minds of people. Volunteer for
mm,
projects that have high visibility. And then
mm,
again, if you build relationship, who are your mentors? Who are the people
mm,
that will be able to say, okay, Victoria is due for the next level. Let's give her this opportunity. But guess what? Your mentors will not, those people will not stick their neck out when you don't have capacity and you don't have achievements. Those are the fundamental things. Then relationship will be a layer on top of it. I believe that if you start with these three and you check yourself with these three, it will be a springboard for you to position for other opportunities. The other thing
mm.
I would, is part of what I said earlier. I think I should just quickly mention about opportunities as well. Many times we're
Okay.
not even looking for, we're not looking at what the market is looking for. You think, oh, I have what it takes, I have capacity. But the skills that you have is that what the market is looking for now? How do you position the industry you are in now? We're talking positioning. You are looking for what is going to be the key trends in the next 3, 5 years. How do
Mm,
you begin to build this capacity now, well ahead, so that when it is time to begin to compare, because you know what? Every time you are compared, every time, consciously or unconsciously, you are being assessed alongside other people, whether within your
yes.
place of work, outside the place of work, and when we look, people are assessing you. And so the question is, why would I choose you as a customer who wants to buy markets from your
Yes.
career? Why should it be you I will buy from? Why not
Mm,
Vivian? Why Victoria and not Vivian? Why not
mm,
Violet? Why Victoria?
mm,
Do you have what the market needs? And not just an assumption that, oh, I'm not getting the opportunities.
mm. Thank you so much. This is literally you spitting fire. And I think I really like that your questions are touching on a lot of the things. I mean, your answers are touching on a lot of the questions that I have. So that is helping us to, run with time. So I'm going to just ask one last question. Because this series is about what people can also put into use immediately.
Mm,
That's why I'm going to ask this one last question. And that
mm,
question is, what daily habits do you think that people
mm,
can adopt that would contribute to their career success in the long run?
mm, mm. Okay, so again, like most things, it's not, there's no one size fits all. There's a lot of
Yes.
things, so many things. But I would I will use the word continuous. I will say, not the word. I will say never settle.
Okay.
Never settle. I always like that word. I know I said that before, but continuous
Yes.
growth.
Mm.
Be curious. Okay, I think that's the word. Curiosity.
Okay.
Curiosity. Always ask, what else? Why is this the case? Oh, this is how we have been doing it. What else can we do differently?
Mm.
Any invention that you see in the world of work or in life generally is because somebody was questioning the way things are. The
Mm.
plane of today, the aircraft of today, somebody questioned, why can't we fly on air?
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
bottle that is holding this water, somebody questioned, why should it be only an Ethan pot?
Mm.
How else can we get? What else can be done differently? You go into a
Mm.
workplace, what else? This is the achievement you had. You had 75% last
Mm.
time. What can you do to get 100%? So curiosity, always ask. The other thing is extending your boundaries, your performance boundaries. I'm a high flyer. Can I be a higher flyer? Another
Mm.
thing that I think usually would, so I'm trying not to talk about the regular things of write your to-do list, those things. I think those things are a given. You understand? Those things are a
Yes.
given way.
Yeah.
We're used to them. One other thing that can help you as a daily habit, choose who you sit with. When I was writing my
Mm.
book, one of the research I did was a Harvard Business Review research, sorry, that I read up on. So, and they said that your performance at work can be impacted up to 15% by the people that you sit beside.
Interesting.
That's a daily occurrence. Yes, interesting. And so they were talking about how business owners can redesign seating arrangement to improve productivity at work.
Mm.
And so bring that to
Mm.
yourself as an individual. You want to improve your productivity on a daily basis, habit that can help you progress at work or in your career. Choose who your relationship, the people you have relationship with, and something as
Mm.
basic as your seatmates. Something as
Mm.
basic because they can either influence you positively or influence you negatively. Another thing beyond the influence of your product is because the people you I've forgotten who said that. He said by the time but there are different things. I will say what. So by the time you count, if you are the average of the top 5 people within
Five
your
people.
circle.
Yeah.
Yes. Another person said, I don't know, somebody said, okay, it was one popular minister was saying something. He said, if you have 5 fools around you, you did not count well.
Yeah.
The
Yes. The
sixth
sixth
person,
one.
the sixth one, you didn't count. How can you have 5 fools around you? And that means you're also a fool. You have not been intentional.
True.
Do you understand? To
True.
choose the people you have,
Yes.
the people you have in your circle. Let me tell you, there's energy in your circle.
Mm.
Energy of the way they do their work, energy about the things they say. Are they the
Mm.
next? Are they people that are always complaining? Do you understand? Or are they people that are finding and looking at what can we do for things to get better? Those things
Mm.
impact, what you do. The other thing, I'm just trying to say different things, is having a mindset of gratitude.
Mm.
So you know me, I always preach this. Be grateful for how far you have come. Many times you are focusing too much on what is not working, and forgetting
Mm.
that there are things that people that you have, other people are admiring. So focus on
Yeah.
what is working. As you focus on what is working, the universe conspires in your favor. There's something that is called confirmation bias.
Mm.
The more you believe something is true, the more it works to be true for you. So if you
True.
believe that an environment will work in your favor, over time it
Mm.
begins to work in your favor. It might be a spiritual thing, but there's also a physical logic to it. And the simple
True.
logic to it is because you go with a mindset that things are working well, I'm grateful, things will work well for me, and you see the positive. Once you focus on the positive, unconsciously you're going to be asking yourself, if A is working, that means if I do the same thing that I'm doing with A, B can also work. And by the
Mm.
time you do the same thing with A, B, and C, because of that mindset of gratitude, the positive
Yes.
mindset that you have, people around you that are observing are already placing you as somebody who's a
Mm.
performer. These are the people that will evaluate you. These are the people
True.
that will assess you. These are the people that will determine that you are ready for the next level. You see how these things are progressing, starting from your
Yes.
mindset to your output to your relationship, people observing. There's so much that
Mm.
I can see about daily habits. I've talked about curiosity. I've talked about, be intentional about your sector.
Relationship.
I can't
Yeah.
overplug that. Intentional about your output. You understand? And then think one step ahead. Think one step ahead. I won't overflog the sales. I've already talked about thinking sales. What do
Yes.
you have? What's your target? What's your goal? What's your target? And then the other thing is, do you have what the market needs? So, what are the next level things in your industry, in your discipline, and how can you position? The other thing I will say, quickly is this: understand what success means for you.
Mm.
Understand because when we say how, what are the daily habits you would do to be successful, to progress, your success might not be my success. We
True.
can have the same thing, and it might not be the definition of success for me, depending on where I am in my career and in my life. So, what's
Yes.
success for you? Is your success to be the CEO somewhere? Is that it?
Mm.
Is your success to achieve work-life balance? I want to have well-groomed children and also have a great career. What's your
Mm.
definition of success? Define that. And those things I talked about, the car model, let it align with it so that When life happens and you see yourself another 10 years, you are not defining your success by the pages of the book of another person.
Awesome.
Whereas that person secretly is looking at you and saying, this person seems to have it all. Meanwhile, you are
Yes.
looking, oh, this person is the CEO, whereas the person is looking at you and saying, your children are well behaved, you are having a great career,
Mm,
and you can go to bed at night knowing that you're not going to be disgraced somewhere. You just
true.
know what I'm saying? So define
Yes.
your success. Again, success also shifts over time.
Time. Yeah.
It will,
True.
yes, it will shift over. So what success for you in this season of your life might not, might need to change in another season. I think I will pause here. There's a lot in the book, Maximizing Your Career
Yes.
Seasons. For
Yes.
those that will get a copy, you will see a lot more. And for the ones that I can't share, you can also get. But I think we should just, because of the time, I think
Yes.
I'll pause there.
Thank you so much, Ma. This is a fire session. Let me just describe it that way. It's a back-to-back hits for every question that I've asked this evening.
Thank
Thank you so much
you.
for pouring it all out, and thank you
Thank
so
you
much
for
for the
having
gift of the
me.
books. Thank you so much. I mean, I was not
Thank you.
expecting that, and I'm glad that through this platform somebody's life can change because that book is
Mhm.
capable of changing someone's life. Like I
Yes,
said, I've read
yes,
that book, and it is that book is deep. If you're a
absolutely.
career person, you really should read that book.
You need to
And
get
here
that
you
book,
are having
yes.
the book for free. I'll find a way to get that book out. You guys will compete for that two books.
Yes, find a
But
way for
then,
you to compete.
yes,
And
I'll
so
find a way
depending
for
on
them
you,
to.
we can do a little more than two, but let's start with two. Let's see
Okay.
people's how people are going to get engaged, and then we
Okay.
can we can see how many. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for
Thank you
your
so
time.
much.
You are a
Thank
super, super
you.
busy woman, but here you are. And I don't know when I
Thank
hear
you.
people talk about use a relationship, I always feel proud because I use my relationship well.
Yes.
At
Yes.
least that's
I
the
see
reason
the
why
people
you are
that
the
you
call.
brought. I see the people that you have brought to this, and I'm like, yes, I love how you use your relationship. Well
Very
done. Well
important for
done.
me. Thank you so much,
Well
Ma. Thank
done.
you for
Thank
availing me this
you.
opportunity to have you as a guest and for also pouring it out as much as you've done. And of course, for everyone who had stayed, I really, really do appreciate the engagement. I mean, a lot of comments. Pastor Victoria, you seem to have a lot of ardent followers who followed you here.
Oh, really? I'm not seeing the
Because
comments.
I'm
So,
seeing somebody. I think I saw somebody's comment that said your there's always a lot to learn from you, Ma. So much
oh,
wisdom and insight.
really?
Yes. Thank you so much for everyone who had
Uh,
joined the program. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do. I have one mission
oh,
in this channel, and
really?
that is to ensure that you succeed as
Mm,
much as possible in every area of your life. So my
mm,
content in this channel is to put out anything that can help you grow, anything that can help you
mm.
succeed. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Like,
Please
you're
subscribe.
liking these
Yes.
videos. Yeah, you're
Like
liking these
all these
videos are a
videos.
way to
That helps
encourage
me.
me as
Yes.
well. They make me feel like what we are doing is working for you. So thank you. Please
And
subscribe, please like, please
forward the
share.
link.
Yes,
Mm,
please share, please comment as well, just like you're commenting already. I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. Just to give you an hint, the next video we're going to be having, the next series, we're going to be talking about your personal finance. Like I said, it's a
mm,
holistic here for you, and you must grow in all areas of your life. While you're growing in your career and you're making money from your career, you want to come and know how to make the most of the money you're making from your career in our next season. Thank you so much, Pastor Victoria, once again.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.
Thank
And of
you.
course, have a lovely week
Have a
ahead.
good evening.
Bye.
Yes. Bye.